Just picture it. You're young, you're getting ready to finish high school, and you've just discovered that you have the ability to control fire.
Say what?
That's not usually the kind of burning passion any young woman imagines they'd have to deal with.
Yeah, no kidding.
Hi, I'm indie author and vlogger Garrett K. Jones, and this month in Author Awareness, I'm interviewing Australian writer Renee April about her new book, Her Crown of Fire. That's cool. I mean, hot. It's hot. Hey, happy Saturday. Today is a really special opportunity. Most of the authors I've gotten the chance to interview over the last year have all been local to the United States, at least by the time I've gotten to speak with them. Today, I get to interview Queensland, Australian native Renee April, so I'm pretty excited. I also get to promote the upcoming second season of my podcast, Creator's Corner. But before I go any further, please take some time to subscribe to my channel and click the bell for notifications whenever new videos get posted. New videos come out every Saturday, and you can select notifications for all videos, or you can personalize them based on your preferences. So I finished the first season of Creator's Corner at the end of December. Those first 13 episodes covered the three-part series called Writing Is, where I broke down my philosophy about the garden that is writing, which in gardening fashion flows from the planning stage to the planting stage and then the pruning stage. Naturally, the pre-writing, drafting, and editing phases respectively. I've got a new season coming up starting on Monday, February 3rd with a new series called Welcome to the Danger Zone. And the goal is to understand the mental and emotional barriers that we as writers have that come when we push our creativity outside of our respective comfort zones. And now comes the fun part. That's right, it's time for the interview with Australia author Renee April. Hi Renee, thanks for joining me. Tell me about the book you just had come out in December.
So Her Crown of Fire centers on Rose Evermore, a teenager trying to find her path after high school. Instead, she discovers that she can control fire and ends up in a magical land called Letheria, along with her best friend who is completely human. So Rose ends up having to choose between keeping her friend safe and staying in this place that has become like home to her.
So how did you get into writing?
Well, I've always written, ever since I was a kid. I was always reading or writing in some capacity, and as I got older I began to take it a little more seriously, but it's definitely been a skill that I've honed over the last decade or so. I wrote my first book at 18, and it was this terrible, awful draft that some would argue is the first draft of Her Crown of Fire, but it is definitely something I have always done, and unfortunately something I think I will always do.
What are some of your inspirations as a writer?
So I'd have to say that my biggest inspiration for writing comes from people, what drives them, what motivates them. I'm fascinated with these themes of loss and grief and betrayal and personal sacrifice. I watch people do this on a daily basis, and I desperately want to understand why. I want to put these in my book so that people can find something to relate to and connect with, and possibly even work through some issues of their own.
What has been the hardest part or biggest challenge in the creation of your work?
The biggest challenge for me would definitely be seeing the bigger picture. It gets real easy to become bogged down in tiny details and edits and scenes that you forget the goal that you're working towards. I also struggle with writing everything as accurately as possible, which really bogs down the drafting process, especially when it comes to historical fiction. I have spent days looking for what kind of tea they drank in the 1940s in America. It is really hard to shake once you start looking for something. I want to finish that journey, and therefore it takes me a long time to draft some things.
If you could give any advice for other would-be authors out there, what would you say to them?
My advice for other writers or aspiring authors would be just do it. And I know that sounds really, really annoying and frustrating, but it's hard to write a book. Yeah, but it's harder not to. And the only way to get that idea out of your brain is to get it down on paper, and you will feel so much better once you've made a start. So my advice is to sit down and make some time and just go for it. My other piece of advice is to weigh every opportunity that comes your way. Don't be too quick to say yes, think of the pros and cons, and ultimately decide what is best for you and your career path and your art.
A big thanks to Renee April for participating in the January edition of Author Awareness. If you'd like more info about Renee and her work, then check out her website, which is on the screen, reneeapril.com, as well as following her on Twitch and social media. If you want to pick up a copy of her book, Her Crown of Fire, you can find it available on Amazon, Book Depository, and Barnes & Noble in both hardback and paperback, as well as in an ebook format. You can find all the links in the description below. Hey, thanks for watching. If you liked what you saw and you'd like to see more videos like this, please make sure to subscribe and hit that bell icon for notifications on new videos. If there's something that was talked about in this video that you'd like to know more about, please make sure that you leave a comment down below. Also, if you can't get enough of my sweet, sweet voice, then check out my podcast, Creators Corner, which is available on Apple Podcasts, Anchor.fm, Spotify, and many other platforms. All 13 episodes of Season 1 are available now, and Season 2 starts on February 3rd. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you next week for the Creators Corner segment of the vlog.